I'm legitimately trying to explain how we as James Escher users, knowledge, people with knowledge of, could best use our modern church facilities in a trade for a collection of James Escher teachings, which I'd like to just say are a 6,000 year teaching relationship of we have them. And in my mind, it is actually something we forgot we had, that we did not understand how to correct. That's how I'd like to put it there. We did not actually know, as teachers of the collation of 27 books, how to correct them. So, having stumbled onto this resource on how to correct the 27 books for the James Escher chronology, I'd like to explain that I'm keeping it in testimony of my dog. It's such labor intensive work. The how to correct the 9/11 jihad, 2001, provided us a reason to open our eyes to everything that was around us at that moment in Earth history and what we had put together and what we had arrived at after, where I'd like to put us into the 1984 phenomenon. Agnes Nutter, which shows up soon after a lot of stuff we can't see right here, that was the OTO into Kabbalah with a Q. So Kabbalah, this is a wrong naming convention for that, and all we can do is that, with that acceptance that that's the wrong naming convention for Kabbalah, what I need to do for the OTO is explain that this is a mistake to say yes Allah. However, that cult does not recognize Jesus, whereas that cult recognized Darwin and everything that they provided at this point in time, with relationship to having experienced the Darwinian evolution. So, Darwinian evolution as a period of Earth history is the way that, for me to close this period for James Escher, I have to take the 6,000 years here on this website that they say using their method of teaching that the earth is 6,000 years old in the year 2020, without a cult warning of, we have a weird cult tradition we're following to provide a refusal to accept. Right over here in Australia, we have a 65,000 year presence. And in this 65,000 year presence, I've come to locate and recognize it is the Apocrypha of the Bible, which is something that exists but existed and doesn't exist and is relatively irrelevant unless you use it in some churches, such as the Episcopalian. So the Episcopalian Church, I've actually witnessed the testimony of the 12 patriarchs. Here, testimony. I've read it in their literature. I've read it in their sermon preparation material, stuff you wouldn't normally see laying around, and they use it for something. I'm not sure what. Okay, it's with one of their festivals that they keep, similar to the Messianic Jews keep the. So we have this retained, similar with Messianic Jews retention of the 75 books apocrypha for the Hanukkah tradition. So this would have been whatever ceremony they kept Episcopalian. And so here we have Hanukkah. We have an Episcopalian ceremony and an orthodoxy that we need to inspect with some sniffer of a cult beside a cult, rather than saying we're not the cult, they're the cult. I need us to say we're both the cults at the same time. We've been caught at 6,000 years. I don't even know if they have that one. And I don't really know if they care. I'm getting a phone call. Find my phone. Yeah. Hello? Hello, my love? Hello, hello, hello? How you doing? How's your homework? Get everything. Yeah, class, that's what I meant. Did you have a good time? Yeah. Is this the class, or is it the online class you're dealing with all the medieval stuff, right? And this one is not. Well, that witches burning thing, I guess we were talking. So may I repeat that? Medieval, post-medieval, wah, makes kind of sense to me. Women's study. Pre-colonial women. Okay, and what you were just talking about was the burning of witches. Okay. Wow. Yeah. No three-leggeds. Cha. Yeah, I've got you there. Okay. No three-leggeds. Yes. No, I'm okay. I'm too much on the medieval proof, but I was just on the burning of witches portion of that. What we were looking at. I'm gonna plug in and so that's not the primary thing. That's the women's studies, and here's a question I have for you: how would that relate to the tribal relationships? Is that something you could expand on for those studies? What we're talking about? Okay, no, all right. Well, let me grab the prayer book. Go ahead. No, so what? One or two what, please? I will. No. I'm sorry. Who's going on here? No, we're not. What are you talking about? Oh, tell me why, please. No, should I say? So I'm hearing you. I'm keeping record for this because what I'm hearing you say is they're watching and being very nitpicky at every mistake, wasting your time and making a big deal about it in order to display a correction. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I want to get I'm praying for a quick relief out of there so I can get back to school teaching and things like that and back to work because I should be working right now. So that's kind of my prayers. So it's Thursday, right? Thursday evening. Eternal God, Almighty Father of men and angels, by whose care and providence we are preserved and blessed, comforted and assisted. We heartily thank Thee for the many temporal and spiritual mercies Thou hast bestowed upon us this day, and especially for the light of the gospel, which till shines upon us points out to us the path of everlasting life and happiness. Forgive us, we beseech Thee, all the sins and shortcomings of this day, and let us never return to the follies of which we are ashamed, which bring sorrow and death. Be pleased to watch over us this night and spread the wings of Thy protection around our resting place, please. And with this, I'm, Lord Yeshua, blow a puff of uh, grace into that office, please. And if better yet, no, Lord Yeshua, put a puff of grace of life residency because that's what you're doing there, and give us a secure footing of where to land because my personal goal is to catch you in about 3 months out of there. That's what I'm personally aiming for. Catch you in about 3 months out of there. So that's I want out of what I'm doing right now and uh, uh, teaching it in college. Preserve us from sin and harm and from malice and the spirits of darkness, whether we sleep or wake. May we be thy servants and children through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. The I've really been inspecting that picture of uh, the kids with what's his name in it? What's Cass's Levi, and he's my Neolithic partner in crime, I guess. He's kind of my guy. I like him a lot now. Did you spend any time talking to him? I don't even. No, I haven't talked to him. I've been talking about him. Been using him and my dog. My research into James Escher. If you must understand what I'm talking. No, I said about him. About. I've been looking at his picture. It's. You think so? I should get to know him better, huh? He's my son-in-law. I did that with your mom. I've never done that. I've never reached out to him like that. That would be wisdom. I'll take that from you. So absolutely, he's part of my. Um, I want to promote a different theory of origin now. that's what I'm doing. I'm promoting a different theory of origin than the one I found on this internet. It appears as pretty well concealed into better to show something like that. And it's uh, pretty well concealed, and it actually has to do with all of this stuff we never talk about. So um, I guess I'm trying to figure out why we never, you and I, I admire. Let me praise you. Let me praise you. I admire the connection we have in our prayer life, and I say that is why, even though we're batshit crazy trying to do this insane long distance bullshit that we're tired of, that we're trying to get back to work for and do some stuff for that, uh, and solidify everything with this is the patience until we miss the opportunities. So we'll have to take them when the opportunity comes. But looking forward for the prayer work, for the prayer of the right places to take the right information at the right time to the right people, and the simple things I'm asking for now, because honey, I have a nothing. That is my newspaper article. I was talking on my phone with my partner, and it was, honey, we have a nothing, I guess. I've been looking for this newspaper article I've been trying to write for the last couple of weeks, and it's literally talking about my granddaughter, talking about my granddaughter, talking about her. When are we gonna finally tie the knot and finally move in together and finally you get through this hurdle that we keep setting aside and losing focus on because we're back to school, back to this, back to that, and it's beautiful because we stay connected through prayer. If we didn't have our prayer, we wouldn't have that. If we wouldn't have our relationship that we have, so really all I have is a prayer book that connected two spirits together in a harmony, and you know, don't even want to give names. To be honest, my what I'm putting together is such a disappointment to be where I'm at. I don't even want to give names. So I've got a nothing. I've got how am I going to figure out a way to weasel into college just to correct a few things. Yes, 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 yes. I've got a nothing. I've got to weasel my way into this white Bible church to correct a few things. I've got a nothing. I need to weasel my way in over there to correct a few things. I've weaseled my way in over here. Thank you. And I think we're working really well here with the nothings and nothings of uh, this is, yeah, no, because we were in prayer. That's why. Yeah, no, I was sitting there talking about our prayer for my daughter and our success for my going to work. It was all part of the prayer. I was rambling in lucid trance towards prayer. I, yeah, yeah, I'll be done. Wait, okay, I'll stop annoying you, baby. I love you. And, no, talk, talk. Slow down, slow down. You communicated clearly. Oh, thank you. Okay, go for it. I love you. You know, baby. Love you, baby. Bye-bye. She had a sick gut as I was saying that. Eyes wide shut. She knows exactly what I've been talking about. Been watching my maps, been watching me talk about it for fucking months. Eyes wide shut. Her Native American blap is a rigorous oh, pop open at Kennewick Man, pop open there, and she's not doing it herself. That's the impossibility. Yet here in this, she's doing nothing for her mom. Take it however, whatever comes. She's in this she's brilliant African American, taking it however it comes, overweight. And in this, still beautiful, very professional, but I have no purpose. I have no meaning. I made it through college. I kind of sprung up out of this no purpose and no meaning of saved by some 6,000 year of grace. And I was told apes grow up to become me delusion of I found something that made me feel good bouncing around over here and not thinking about like the legitimacy of my consequences, even though I'm watching as these prayers are going out and we're talking about these things are whack and like flat tire booms, realities of eyes wide shut to acceptance. Slow down, bite your tongue, even. Keep record of your daily thoughts and how you're projecting yourself, going through some racial related squeezing to ease it out to pop out for no purpose. I've done this not racial related because it's something that you got to do every once in a while. In my opinion, having done that because it's something you have to do every once in a while, not racial related, I'm watching a performance junkie who's not watching her behavior because she's severely depressed, sitting there. Why did I even wake up this morning? This is so stupid, these fucking people. And it is almost impossible to get her out of that. Why am I just hunched over? Why I have nothing. I have nothing. I have nothing. I was baptized into the 6,000 year earth legend as a, but my elders of my Native American 6,000 year earth, we're not them legend is they adopted me and they've made me a little bit better, but they break me by not explaining the reality of that. Well, we don't know what we're talking about either, and we do stupid shit like for this transcendental popping our top of our brains off to open us up to be like Gandhi, I guess, is we would put in these. You've seen the Sundance, which of course got evolved into the Sundance ceremony. So it's a you and I looking at that cult relationship with the description that pegging yourself to the tree is a flesh offering, a legitimate boom. We did it way back when also. The Jews did it. We don't have to do it. We're saved by grace, so we don't have to do it. So I would never do it. and I know how to obtain the same things that they're hallucinating into. And I've actually watched people, men, go to jail as soon as like 3 months after that for not resolving their I have last guy was 12 years, like, not resolving his, what you go to Alcoholics Anonymous, wreckage of your past immediately right in front of you, and so he goes, get pegs to the tree, and then three with this, I have to clean my everything and become spiritually proud elder, and spiritually able to accomplish going to work at minimum wage, Arby's, no, Subway, but because he was taught he was an ape as compared to a realistic distribution of this map. I have to put out here and say, NASA, this is your magic water factory. This map is these people, how they actually moved around. It's a big blap. Oh, this is what happened when I inspected it long enough. And this is what happened when I inspected it long enough, is I found that every situational problem when a child cries is because the sermon is someone standing as compared to sitting down with the congregation. The speed of everything is not sitting down and handwriting the book of Ecclesiastes after you take Matthew chapter 5, verse 1, compare what you do not know about the record keeping of those books with the record keeping of every time you've ever stood in front of a congregation and not blown on the book and wondered who believes in something different and what am I going to do to entertain them that I believe what this thing says. Yes, is what it said when I was done with it. At Matthew chapter 5, verse 1, who wrote it down? Well, we have a Sermon on the Mount that best fit over with NASA thinks apes grew up to become them also, and that explains why my NASA scientists are told my generations came up from apes. But I'd like to present more of a Sound of Music. Let's go back to Germany and let me explain a little bit more about communism and socialism that was erased when you only kept false record of it, and establish a better ordination of the Third Reich for you. The one we were kind of expecting, the one I always looked at like, oh, that's why I read that shit. That's why I went to Auschwitz. Yeah, that is nice. It's like, and that Babylon shit that always moved around and always bobbled our brain. It told us we couldn't read, we couldn't understand anything. Those books told us we couldn't actually understand anything. And so when we didn't understand that John 1:18 did not mean that God, no one has ever seen God, but rather we're going to receive a correction of 7.7 billion of us, because there's 7.7 beautiful children of God possible with an internet now that might be able to grow up from being apes because of a 500-year legend that we grew up from apes who involved writing in the year 3500 BC, according with this internet. And this seems more like a little Facebook note. I think God's making fun of us right here and wants us to clean up a few things when it's so simple. When it's so simple with this 500 years. This is a newspaper article. This was what happened in Israel with the Dead Sea Scrolls. Dead Sea Scrolls trumped Trump. And the New American Standard Version of the Bible, the Dead Sea Scrolls trumping Trump is why you're seeing everything going along, and your God needs to trump a couple things. And he actually needs to trump pulpit preaching to see how we will respond for communicating clearly in one sermon, a single request. Let's go out and in a single sitting, see how we all feel for this single sermon. That would Matthew chapter 5, verse 1. I called all of you who have ever stood at a pulpit to sit down and explain to me how your entire career was reflected on with the retention of a package of miscategorized and misordinated and miscommunicated and misappropriated and miss everything in the year 1666. I regret to inform you that the worst of the worst happened with James Ussher, in that we retained it, in that we have it, but the best of the best happened with James Ussher, in that it was caught by somebody who remembered it and figured out how to use it. And so I'd like to present the plan for the next couple months to demonstrate how, if our Sparkies would have sat down and practiced writing the Bible rather than the little piece of legends they were taught, and not run around, but rather practice sitting and breathing and learning how to meditate and massage each other non-sexually, but friendship-wise, have pets and animals, where having them open into gardening for their churches and working into maintenance and taking little sparky jobs around it while mommy and daddy collate all of their literature from schools to see, because right now I'm looking at this 500-year delta over here, please, at Adam and Eve were expelled. Israel, shame on you for not keeping record of when Eve broke her hymen. And I get this little special moniker reward of Dr. YMCA. So when you run it across it, it's because you knew Eve broke her hymen about 6,000 years ago. And that's in the Zohar. So I've got something that doesn't exist being compared to something that doesn't exist. So I don't really exist. So when we're done with this cleanup project, I would like just a bunch of reminders left all around, because what I'm finding is that no one ever gone back in the 5 minutes that look, oh, what did might have I said something wrong in whatever I didn't. I tried to remember it, and all of the stuttering and the leading into a joke, and was the joke funny, and how to make you feel, and how do you use it for that ecstatic movement of pelvic excitement in many ways in a breeding relationship is the question I have to ask. That's what pulpit preaching was, because what Christ wants is to sit our bottoms down and figure out we don't actually understand what those words ever said, and that never once anywhere with 7.7 billion of us with the 6,000-year delusion have we had a Bible that was properly constructed for how the legends around it were retained. And I'm reaching out to take the Bible away from gotquestions.org and tell them thank you. All right. Thank you.